So my name's Darren Oddie. I work for a startup. I was the co-founder with Tony over there. Our backgrounds are very different, although we've worked in similar companies. So to give you a bit of background on me, I started in the city. I then came out and went into drugs. I got heavily into drugs and ended up in jail. So I think that kind of gives you a background for how I'll talk about things. So just to explain, I worked for Reuters when I was in the city. I then came out because I started in accountancy and got into marketing. And then got into drugs, so I worked for Glaxo. And then ended up in jail, which was, my university was in a converted prison building. So I've been in the cell that Nelson Mandela sat in. But I think I had to do something quite different. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about today was really, given that background, pretty much about 20 years in marketing, I kind of blend the accounting into that because I'm not going to tell you how long I spent in there, but it was pretty short. So the agency we've set up is called Agile Customer Insight. And I'm actually not selling that to you. I just want to explain why we're doing what we're doing. Agile is pretty much around marketing is changing. And if you look at agile development technologies, how marketing needs to advance is in a similar way. It means we're becoming more scientific. You're doing a lot of test and learn. People have been talking about failure and encouraging that. I suppose my angle for selling into companies is not, I want you to fail. I want you to test so that you can learn. Failure will come along with that, but hopefully you'll test more things, learn more things, and actually have more success. So it's not really about failure as such in talking with corporates. And I can say after 20 years, I've never once worked for a corporate where I've had in my objectives, Darren, please fail. But let's look at Marketing 1.0. Where did we start? It was about products. We were pushing products. Let's dispel a myth really early on about what marketing is. It's not about communicating with customers solely. It's not about pushing stuff to them. It used to be about that. You used to push your products. You talked about features and benefits. It was the 4 Ps or 7 Ps, however many Ps we've got to now. I mean, forget that. I've got the American Marketing Association definition of marketing here. The reason I've put that there is that marketing is not just about marketing communications. It's a strategic function. You're developing products. You're engaging with customers. Customers are becoming more diverse. We heard from eBay this morning. You know, who is your customer? The customer is changing. You have to partner with people. You have to collaborate. Well, a lot of my background has been in payments. And if you look at the most successful payment companies that have used data, it's around customer acquisition. And I'd use Capital One as a really good example there. But in customer acquisition, they were literally predominantly banging out communications to people. And by banging them out, people were starting to use those products. And I think what we then realized as a profession was that people were switching off. Let's have the mind of the consumer. Let's engage them. Let's balance the heart and the mind. Let's make it more experiential. And companies then started doing different things. Part of my background was running the membership rewards program from American Express. I was advising banks globally that were developing membership rewards programs. Everything that we did was around make sure you have the rational message, but emotionally engage the customer. So, for example, if the reward is around going to a restaurant to eat a meal, and I'm not joking on this one, this is a live example. I went into one bank, and for all their restaurant pages in the membership rewards brochure, it showed you the restaurant sign and front of the restaurant. That didn't engage customers. What you had to do was around having people eating the meal, showing the food, show them enjoying the experience. That started getting much better results in terms of the marketing that we were doing with those banks. It was also around looking at the data and saying, what are the levers of engagement that we have with customers traditionally known as cross-selling. And that was those customers who engaged in the rewards program. How did that correlate with other activities that were going on? So around different cards they may carry, did they buy insurance? What were the key things we needed to look for to then engage those customers in the reward program? Bearing in mind there's generally a fee on that reward program, we're thinking about how to engage the customer through the use of data. What that then allows them to do is to be creative in how they engage. So that's marketing 3. So it's all about Zen. It's the values of the customer. What values are driving your customers? Marketing 3 is about collaboration, co-creation. And these are not my words. These are academically investigated. And I should kind of say my bias here, but Philip Kotler is a guru of marketing for me. I love the work that he's done. He's really looked at very innovative ways of doing marketing. So marketing actually now shows across a lot of academic disciplines, how do you engage people? For me, a really good example of where marketing 3 isn't working is the recent crisis within the UK. Yes, it was a banking crisis, but actually it was about technology. And I'm sure you've all read about which particular bank that is. And if you go onto their Twitter account, it's a one-way communication. They communicate out to the customer. So for Marketing 3.0, you know, we've heard a number of things today around how do you help society at large. We're being given a really big responsibility in marketing, and data will help us understand that, because it's the data that allows us to understand our customers. A really live example for me would be going back to the 1970s, and I know there are a few people here that can do that in their minds. That was around going in to talk to your bank manager. You know, you lived in a small town, you'd see your bank manager, you'd have a discussion around what you could borrow or what you could be interested in investing, and they would give you specific information. We then kind of moved through different phases, a lot of it driven by technology, and it got to such an extent that humans became dumb. They were using the technology to do their activity. Hopefully big data and the technology we have now today allows us to personalize the discussions again. And I would say for a lot of industries, we've got a long way to go. So how do we put creativity into it? So it's thinking about the child's mind. And here I've used a definition on creativity from Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, who has done a lot of research around flow and creativity. If we think of athletes, they do their best work when they're in their flow. They're passionate about what they're doing. They've trained hard. They've got talent. They're doing a lot of work around it. We have to do the same as marketeers. We have to be passionate about our products. We have to be passionate about our customers. And we have to engage them in the right way. And we must do to them what we want from other companies. Don't say, well, that's fine for eBay, but it doesn't work for RBS. Big data. I've kind of put big in brackets because it doesn't have to be about big data. It can be about data. It used to be about using cubes. And it's about making it relevant for customers. So start using the technology and using the data to make sure that what you're doing is relevant, not just about the communication, developing the product, providing the service, engaging in all aspects of the business. And when it comes down to it, part of the reason that we have to do this is that we have to drive results. The most engaged customers are actually going to enjoy interacting with you. I've worked in what's been called loyalty for quite a long time. And pretty much my response to a bank when we discuss loyalty programs is, if you want loyalty, just buy a dog, because a dog will give you loyalty, a customer won't. Why should they give you loyalty? Engage them, excite them, get them interested. If you're not doing that, then don't have their business. Big reason for that in driving those results is it's not just about shareholders anymore. Marketing 3.0, it's about society, it's about values. Because if we don't engage properly, we are the 99%, and I'm pretty sure even if we are the 1%, we have some compassion with the 99%, because if we don't do the right thing, they will tell us. And I would be quite happy to be an activist out there with any company that doesn't do good marketing. Because good marketing should be exciting, and the privacy and the data should really be secondary, because what we're doing is absolutely the right thing. And it is around doing the things that we want to happen to us. So it sounds a bit like I'm on my soapbox, but it really has been about applying that in all the different products that I've worked on, developing all the things, because experience says that if you see good advertising, if you see a good product, if you see a good communication, or if you get good service, you will talk about it and you will get good results. So really, good marketing is common sense and about being respectable with your customers, treating them fairly. Thank you.